Yay. Okay, we're live. Hey, everyone. I am so excited to share this with you. If you're on Instagram, I'm off center because I am streaming this to Zoom and Facebook, and I don't want to cover my little camera hole. And I like to multitask because I'm a manifesting generator. Okay, so I am really excited to share this with you because this is about how to process energy at the gym. And when you're processing energy at the gym, it is so simple and so effective. It is redonkulous. I don't know how I am the first person to talk about it like this. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Lauren. I've been in fitness for 24 years. This month, June of 2025, is my 24-year anniversary. Very excited about that. I've learned a whole lot of stuff because I did 10 years of back-to-back certifications with all different ways your body moves and how to heal it and all these things. And then unfortunately, actually, fortunately, I have Chiron in Taurus in the second house, which means that I myself have had all of my negative energy, all of my repressed emotions really showing up in my body. And so there have been a lot of issues within my physical body that I have had to figure out how to either accommodate my lifestyle, change my lifestyle to accommodate for my body, or use my body as a way to develop my intuition. So, whatever way you want to look at it, it's absolutely incredible because I have such a unique approach to working with the body. So, one of the things that I figured out a couple years ago was that we could actually use exercise to put our masculine energy into balance, because a lot of us, especially if you're a boss babe, especially if you have a disconnected relationship from the father figure in your life, we have overcompensated with our masculine energy. And masculine energy is the penetrative energy, it is the doing energy, it is leadership. And when we as women have the masculine energy overdoing things, it throws off the balance of receptivity. And if you've done personal development, if you've gone to therapy, if you've looked into attachment theory, then you know that, like, if you keep doing all of those things and you're constantly in the moving forward energy, you don't have any space to let anything manifest in your life. You don't have any room for the manifestation to actually come in. And there's so much incredible symbology for us to understand how the mind works, the frequency and the direction and the infrastructure in the quantum realm, and symbology within the feminine, which is the vibration, which is how the wave of the frequency collapses into a particle, matter. So if we are not allowing our feminine energy to have space for that frequency to collapse into something, the thing that we want, then we're just going to keep running ourselves into the ground. And so I just had this fabulous conversation with one of my clients who's in the PHAT Life. And we were talking about emotion is an emotion is an emotion. I can feel sadness by looking at a dead cat on the road, and I can feel sadness if my finances tank. It's sadness no matter what, but the context is different because of where I'm focused. And focus is a masculine energetic. We have to have our mindset, which is masculine energy, in the right form, or right way of being for us to move forward with our goals. But then we also have to have our emotions in balance so that we're emotionally regulated, so that we are not manipulated by our emotions, either because we are having an emotional experience within ourselves, or the powers that want to be are manipulating us. Because I don't know if you know, but Sigmund Freud, who was friends with Carl Jung, but they had a falling out. These are like the fathers of psychology. Sigmund Freud's son is responsible for our propaganda. They know, like, we know mindset, we know manipulation. So if you're not emotionally regulated, if you're not in charge of your emotions, you are susceptible to any type of manipulation. So it's really important for us to understand how our energy works, how emotions work, and energy working. That means how your mindset and how your body work together, because your body is essentially the container that the penetrative energy puts something into. Pretty easy to comprehend, right? You can also think about it in a PG way, that it's the light socket on the wall and then the plug goes in, right? Penetrative, receptive. So if we do not have, if we have overdoing penetrative energy, go, 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 I want this, I want this, I want this to manifest, I want my body to change, personal development, therapy, all these things, meditation, we're visualizing, but we don't actually have a space to put it in our emotions, then it's never going to come into fruition. It's never going to adhere. So when I was learning this with exercise, I was like, this is brilliant and this is so simple. So that's what I want to share with you. So, like I said, an emotion is an emotion, is an emotion, is an emotion. You could be sad looking at roadkill, and you can be sad when your finances take. It is still sadness. So, what that tells us is that the emotion that is in us that can be provoked by an external experience can also be purposely processed. So, here's how I did it. When I was noticing my emotions that I was having about the tools that I needed to do to not only keep my inflammation at bay, this is like 2020, 2021, 2022, and also be in enough of a calorie deficit that I could sustain it and get my six pack. Like, even some pictures of myself now, I'm like, I'm so close to seeing completely visible abs. Like, I can get a good angle and you can see a lot of ab definition. But what I was doing then was realizing that anytime I was having a negative experience with the tools, that I was feeling like the results weren't coming fast enough, or I was feeling like I was too restricted, that the macros and my anti-inflammatory diet were too restrictive, and I felt really sad, that I didn't have a life of freedom because I couldn't just go out and eat on a whim. So I'm feeling those things. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is very matter of fact. So I would have an emotion and I would look up the emotion on the thesaurus, and I would look up synonyms to whatever emotion I was feeling so that I could really dial in exactly the feeling that I was having, because there's different ranges of sadness. There's different ways to describe how we are sad. So I would look up a synonym to really find exactly what type of emotion I was having. Then I looked up the antonym, the opposite. And I was like, okay, well, if I don't want to feel this sadness, it's in me. But if I don't want to feel it, and masculine energy is a positive and feminine energy is a negative. And if you remember being in, I think it's the fourth grade, where we have the blue circles for negative, I think, and the red circles for positive, and you're learning about positive and negative numbers, that, you know, five, um, uh, uh, eight negative numbers added to five is actually -3, right? Like when we're learning about positive and negatives. So I'm like, wait a minute. If an emotion is a positive or a negative emotion, then I can get crystal clear on exactly what it is that I'm struggling with, look up the antonym, and then focus on putting the antonym into my life. So I would change the music I was listening to. I would watch movies that would make me feel a certain emotion, TV shows that would make me feel a certain emotion. But then also, when I went to the gym, there was a definite purpose for what I was working on. So what ended up happening was I would take that antonym emotion, the opposite emotion of sadness, and I would put it into my body, the container, the feminine energy, matter, the plug in the wall. I would put that energy into my body. So then my body became the magnet for the opposite of sadness. And it's not just that you cancel out a negative emotion. No, 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 no. This is about balancing. So if you think about balance, that if you have a certain amount of negativity and you put in a certain amount of positivity, it's neutral. Neutral is boredom. Neutral is the empty space that you get to create something. So you're energetically in your body changing the dynamic of, instead of having overreaching masculine energy that doesn't leave any room for a ship to come in, right? Because you're always pedaling out to sea. Then you have space where your energy neutralizes. You become emotionally regulated. So then you could have a clear mindset and an open container for what it is that you actually want. And when you are subject to the propaganda that was made legal in the 20 teens, you don't fall for it because you are in touch with your feminine energy, your emotions, your intuition to know, "Mm, that's probably not true. I don't know about that. I'm not sure if I'm going to jump on that bandwagon." What else do I want to say? I think that's it. This was pretty short. I just wanted to share with you that when you're working with energy, and the law of attraction and manifestation, it is all happening through you. And this is a principle that a lot of non-Western cultures still live by, and is what we lived by before we got westernized, before the masculine doing and achieving energy became more valued in society than intuition and becoming, and like who you are in your soul versus what you can just produce. So this has been like just such a fabulous way that I've worked with energy. And then now my clients in the PHAT Life are really seeing such a bigger scope for how they're eating and their exercise plays a role in how they're feeling. And when we're more in touch with our feelings, we're able to create such a better experience, not only in our life, but then in our health and in the lives of the people that are around us. So if you're not in the PHAT Life right now, round two starts on September 8th, and the round two pricing is now $222 a month. And if you join the waitlist at 𝗁𝗟ciCEON.com, you're going to get special bonuses for being on the waitlist. And you're going to get first dibs at knowing when the doors officially open to get some free gifts for being one of the first 2 women to sign up. Bye.